Okay, so we find ourselves at the close of another ISART. We wish we could do these every year. They're extremely valuable. Certainly hope this conference has been informative to you all. As we heard from Assistant Secretary Davidson, NTIA is involved in the development of a national spectrum strategy and is updating the MOU between the NTIA and FCC. This is critical to establish ground rules and a framework to work within going forward. We've covered all the factors this week to work within that framework to evolve spectrum sharing and regulation, industry lessons learned, economic factors, data sharing and transparency, risk-informed interference and analysis, model standardization, and technical enablers. And like I pointed out in the wrap-up panel, I really think that going forward, we need to combine all of these and make them active considerations in all the future sharing studies that we do going forward. Clearly, there's a lot to digest here. It's time to reflect and consider how to move forward. So months of planning are required to organize a conference of this nature. So I want to highlight those efforts. Our technical chair, Mike Cotton from ITS, has been our go-to guy for ISART going back to 2010. Mike leads the Telecommunications Theory Division at ITS. That group oversees research on a host of internally and externally funded programs, and it's focused on spectrum sharing ranging from electromagnetic compatibility modeling and analysis, propagation modeling to spectrum monitoring. And they also support NTIA's Office of Spectrum Management in their research support needs. Mike took the lead in developing the conference theme and provided us a comprehensive framework for consideration. Our general chair, Rebecca Dorch, is ITS's senior spectrum policy analyst. Rebecca brings both legal training and a background at the FCC's Enforcement Bureau to the table. Rebecca oversaw the entire planning process, and believe me, there's a lot of work there. And she worked extensively with Mike to flesh out this year's theme and program. Her policy analysis background was critical in coordinating with the policymakers in Washington to ensure that we push the envelope, but keep within legal bounds that are available to us. ITS's publication officer worked behind the scenes, assisting with logistics, contracting, websites, scheduling, and of course, editing the conference materials. So thank you to Lily Segre for that assistance. The technical committee was instrumental in calibrating this year's program and bringing additional experience and perspective to our attention. Dr. Greg Wagner and Joy Cantalupo of the Defense Spectrum Organization, as well as newly retired Howard McDonald, formerly of the Defense Spectrum Organization, have worked in this space for years and could point to successes in AWS-3 with the Spectrum Sharing Test and Demonstration Program and help us extrapolate to more agile processes. Finally, Dr. John Chapin, Special Advisor for Spectrum National Science Foundation, brought perspective gleaned in industry, academia, and government to our attention. John could always be counted on to weave together a lot of ideas, which often made us pause and reformulate the program as we developed it. So special thanks to the planning committee. Excellent job. Our session moderators also did a lot of heavy lifting. Working from our initial call for input, they too added their perspectives and honed the topics. They culled their networks and plowed through the literature to identify speakers who could address these topics. Most importantly, and it was quite evident in all these conferences, they exercised intellectual honesty in making sure that diverse viewpoints were reflected, viewpoints that sometimes didn't agree with their own. So thank you to Rebecca Dorch, Brian Tremont, Julia McHenry, Edward Otten, J. Peter Vries, Billy Kozma, Doug Sicker, and in our wrap-up, Derek Clopin, for helping us pull together all these sessions. Our keynote speakers, Charles Cooper, Evan Quirrell, and Fred Moorfield, provided us excellent viewpoints from their work in spectrum management, economics, and defense communications. Thank you to you too. Next, thanks are in order for our panelists, who are unfortunately too numerous to call by name. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, ISART differs from many technical conferences in that we bring in subject matters and ask them to focus on the prescribed themes. Naturally, we draw from their work experience and research, but many times they don't have ready-made material and have to spend a considerable amount of time pondering their contributions. It was obvious they did their homework. This has been an exceptional 4 days of discussion. Finally, thanks to the audience for the excellent engagement, provocative questions, and feedback. We have a lot of homework to do. Excellent job to all. So where do we go from here? Well, the planning committee will be conducting a hot wash. Obviously, we'll capture items related to the mechanics of the conference. Moreover, we're going to review all of the questions and all of the answers that were given, capture the best points, revisit the call for input, and document what we've learned. ITS's annual research planning cycle kicks off in about a month, and the findings will definitely be considered there. We'll also be coordinating with OSM on topics that might be integrated into our research support for OSM. Finally, we'll consider ideas generated here at ISART 22 that were particularly promising and make sure they get into our after action summary. It's not too late to share your perspective. Please let us know how we did, and also share your thoughts on how we might move forward, both with the conference itself and with respect to this year's theme. Finally, let's talk ISART 2023. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, next year's conference will be coordinated with ITU, Radio Communication Sector Study Group 3 Working Party meetings. Boy, that's a mouthful. And the topic will be radio wave propagation. If you work in this space, we'd like to hear from you. We will start planning ISART 2023 tomorrow. With that, thank you all, and see you next year here in Boulder. Take care.